You know, I can't get enough of Sid Rosenberg. You know, I'm in Virginia and Florida. It's hard to hear him in the morning. But everybody else hears him. Sid, how are you, buddy?
How could I be bad? Mark Levin actually called me tonight Mr. Big. That's huge, Mark. Huge.
Well, you deserve it, my man. By the way, what is this Netflix thing you're doing? You know, I'm not part of the culture, honest to God. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. You're doing something that's very interesting. Can you explain it?
It is. You know, a couple of years ago, a local Brooklyn guy who is an actor, a writer, a producer, a director. He's friends with John Travolta. He started a series. It's called Gravesend. It's not on Netflix. It's actually on Amazon Prime. And Mark, it's basically the mid-1980s five-family mob story. And it's a good piece. The clothing, the music, all dates back to 1985. And he's got me playing a mobster, a killer. And we started season 3 last week. I actually shot scenes with the NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal, who can act 2 nights ago. I'm in scenes with people like Chaz Palminteri. It's a big deal.
So what's the name of the show?
The name of the show is Gravesend, which refers to a section in Brooklyn. But here's what I wanted to tell your listeners, Mark. I understand it. The big names, Meryl Streep, all those big names, they're libs. And they're the worst kind of libs. The worst. But the idea that every actor in Hollywood is a Democrat is wrong. I've done 3 movies. I'm on this show, Gravesend, now for the 2nd consecutive season. And there are a lot, not a couple, a lot of Trump supporters that work with me in these movies and on these TV shows every day. I think it's exaggerated, the amount of Dems in Hollywood. The big ones are, there's a lot of guys like you and I who love Trump and love this country.
Mm-hmm. And you've been doing this how long now?
4 years. I made a movie actually in Los Angeles 2 years ago. It was the true story of the Gemini Lounge mob bar in Brooklyn. I made 2 other movies last year, and this Gravesend show in season 3. I've been in season 2 and 3. So 4 years. I still look good, Mark. I got that tough, rugged Brooklyn guy look. I'm still good on the theater, I can tell you that.
Let me say this, and no offense. You do look a little mobsty. You know what I mean? That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Listen, when I grew up in the late 1970s in Brooklyn, New York, Mark, I was so angry at my parents. My late great father, Harvey, I miss him every day. And my mother, Naomi, who loves you, she's listening right now. I go, Mom, Dad, come on. Tony Manero. That was the John Travolta character in Saturday Night Fever. I wanted to be Tony Manero, not Sidney Ferris Rosenberg, a Jew from Brooklyn. My whole life, I wanted to be Italian until October 7th. Since that day, I've never been more proud to be a Jew.
Mm-hmm. But you have to admit, the Italians have the best food. At least I think so.
The best food, the best looking women, the nicest cars.
You know, the Italians and the Jews are very similar, don't you think?
We're exactly the same. We are family-minded. Seriously. Their God is Jesus.
We talk with our hands. Yeah?
Yeah. And we eat early on Sundays.
And you know what? Maybe the Italians, the Jews, and the Greeks, I think we're all very similar. What do you think of that?
I do believe that. And I'll tell you something else, talking about the mob. But the mob, they've always been Republicans. You're never going to find a Democrat mobster. Why? What do they care about? Money? And Republican presidents like Trump make sure your money is going to be safe. They care about God. They love Jesus.
Only the Biden mob family. The Biden mob family. There's one right there.
There you go. One. Okay.
Let me ask you a question, because I've never done morning radio. You're on very early. What time do you have to get up?
I get up at 3:15 a.m. every morning, and I've got a driver that waits outside my door to take me from Queens to Manhattan at exactly 4:10 a.m. every morning. I arrive at our Palatial Manhattan studios just before 5 a.m., and at 6 o'clock, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. And I guess during the drive and even before, you're kind of boning up on information, yeah?
I'm not really. I know who my guests are, and I know I'm going to go with them. But, I think the beauty about my show, Mark, is that it's unpredictable. I can be talking to Trump one segment, and then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden. And then the next segment, I'm talking to Biden Bill Sims about the Giants the next segment. I could be talking to a hostage's mother like Rachel Goldberg one segment, but Darryl Strawberry the next. So, we cover so much on that morning show. Music, sports, lifestyle, politics, news, even Hollywood, that from one segment to the next, you just don't know. And quite frankly, I don't know. I come out of commercial break, and thank God has given me the talent to just run with it. But lots of mornings, I have no idea. But somehow we get through 4 hours, put on a pretty good show.
You're an old sports guy, so I got to ask you something. What do you make of the Philadelphia Phillies? Has to be driving you nuts.
It is. I've always hated the Phillies. I liked them once. You'll like this, Mark. I liked them when Tug McGraw left the Mets and won the World Series with the Phillies in 1980. But, look, they're the best team in the National League. The Dodgers are right there. Dodgers are very, very good. Milwaukee is a solid team out of the Central. The Braves are still dangerous. But the Phillies have been the best team in the National League now for the last 2 years. And the Yankees, they look like they'll never lose a game again. So
no, they're great.
Right, it's early. It's only June. But early June, it looks like a Yankees-Phillies World Series. And any time New York meets Philadelphia, that's spicy.
I can't wait. I hope it is that. Now, do you get special seats in there because all these people you know?
Of course. It doesn't matter, Mark, whether it's a baseball game, a Broadway show, which I never go to anymore because I hate those people, to be honest. But any ticket I want for anything in New York, I get because I use the name Mark Levin.
And they give you the balcony way back over there. Yeah, right.
Oh, no, they love you. Let me tell you something. They love you. And why do they love you? Look at tomorrow, for example. What an important day tomorrow is. Think about this. Tomorrow's Flag Day, okay?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's also the birthday of President Trump. Tomorrow's his birthday. Tomorrow is also the birthday for the Army. So look at a guy like Mark Levin. Who's more patriotic? Who loves America more than Mark Levin? You have President Trump's birthday, the birthday for the flag, and the birthday for the Army all tomorrow. That's you. Tomorrow's your show, Mark Levin. You are America.
I have to have you on more often, Sid. You're very, very kind. You know that. So
I mean it.
Yeah. So one last thing I want to ask you. This war by Biden against the state of Israel, and you hear Blinken, he says, it's on Hamas now. Hamas is a problem for some reason. Are these guys ideologically anti-Semitic? Are they just stupid eggheads? What is going on here?
They're in bed with the enemy, and a lot of people are making money. And really, it comes down to votes. They don't care how many Jews die. They don't care how many Jews get harassed on a subway car in New York City. They don't care. They care about votes in Michigan. They care about votes in Minnesota. Look, he's in big trouble, Biden. They convicted our friend on 34 counts. It doesn't matter. This country is thirsty for a leader. Joe Biden has proven for the better part of 3 years he can't get it done. And physically, he's a mess. Whether he's freezing at a Juneteenth parade or we walked off the wrong stage in Italy at the G7. So they know they are desperate for votes. That's all this comes down to. He needs to win Michigan. He needs to win Minnesota. They're in bed with Iran. They're making money off of Iran. So they don't care. I'm not sure they're anti-Semitic. I'm not sure that's the case. But they just don't care, which to me is every bit as bad. How do you not care about a people who just went through what we went through less than 9 months ago? Either way, they are evil, bad people. Evil and bad.
All right, Sid. You're a good man. Dear, dear friend. Wish you all the best. God bless you. Maybe one of these days you'll really make it in New York.
Well, I hope so, because I love you. I love you, and when you bring me on, Mark, just so you know, I do a lot of shows. Nothing like doing yours. It's the biggest honor in the business.
Wow, thank
You're the
you.
best talent and the best in the business. I love you. Thank you very much.
Let me say this about you. You make it sound like we're sweethearts, but the truth is we do love each other. It's unbelievable. Like men, you understand. But
it's sincere. It is sincere.
And have we ever met in person? I don't think we have.
I don't think we've ever met in person. It's funny you say that. I don't think we ever did. Never. No.
Isn't that weird?
It is, but it's not really, because after October 7th, I needed someone, And October 8th.
Remind everybody what happened then. Go ahead.
What happened? We were in the middle of a silly fight, which was my fault because
No, don't worry about that.
Okay, so I reached out to Levin's producer and I said, "Listen, Mark and I aren't talking these days, but I need him, and I'm wondering if I call him. This is a Sunday afternoon. Jets are playing the Giants. I remember it well. October the 8th. I said, "Will Mark reach out to me?" And he got back to me in 5 minutes and he said, "Yes, call Mark at this number." And 3 o'clock that afternoon, October the 8th, I needed you, and you were there for me. You said, "Sid, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Right now, I'm here for you. You're here for me." And that has remained true. I mean, folks don't know this. We text each other 4 or 5 days a week. It is a serious, important relationship. You become kind of like my father, a family member. I needed you, Mark Levin. I still need you, and you were there for me. That I will never forget, and your whole audience should know that.
Well, you're a sweetheart. You really are. Sid, God bless you, man. You're just doing fabulous, and you deserve all the credit. You really do. Take care of yourself.
You too, Mark Levin. Thank you so much. I love you. Can't wait to do it again. Be well.
You better believe it. Take care of yourself.